day by day, everybody under the age of 50 who never saw applied socialism in practice is now having a first-hand life lesson on what it looks like to be led by a terribly, terribly dogmatic government that when it has a plan at all, its plan is one to take us backwards, not forwards. Look, there were a number of us in government, what I'd call middle-ranking ministers, who weren't happy with the direction of travel. Myself, Kemi was one, Alistair Jack was another. That very often found ourselves, making common cause in questioning whether the right thing to do was to introduce socialist legislation on renters reform, introduce a new football regulator, or indeed, whether the best priority for a Conservative government with a strong majority was a generational smoking ban. And so I'd seen Kemi up close and personal, advocating for Conservative principles, even when there was no advantage to her. And so, when she stood for leader, I was very quickly out of the blocks as somebody who saw the need for a Conservative Party to be led back to core Conservative territory. That's the ground on which history teaches us we can win.
Look, I can't tell you how bad this employment rights bill really is. And it's really about trade union rights. It's a back to the 1970s bill, reverses every one of the sensible reforms to trade unionism in this country, reforms that Tony Blair, Gordon Brown never saw fit to revisit. It introduces things like a right to roam for trade unions into the private premises of businesses. It reduces the thresholds on turnout of strikes ballots, makes short notice strikes and longer notice strikes much more possible. It's really, really damaging. And what employers and businesses tell me is it will deter them from giving particularly young people a chance. It will stop them hiring. We're already seeing unemployment has increased every month of this Labour government. This bill, if it goes through with its day one rights, with its threats of employment tribunals, will just deter people from hiring, or maybe deter people from hiring here, and they might hire overseas instead. I'm very sad to say, but this will take us from being one of the more flexible labour markets in Europe to one of the least. It will deter business from hiring. It will absolutely create more industrial strife, just as we saw in the 1970s. Very, very damaging. I want to be clear to your readers that we Conservatives will repeal all of the damaging parts of this bill when we get back into office, because we see the need for a growing economy, and business is the only true provider of sustainable jobs and employment. I want a job for everybody. I don't want generation jobless, where young people, however hard they work, they do the right thing, they get their grades, they go to college, but they still can't get the job of their dreams because of Labour's legislation.